Welcome to Anything and Nothing podcast, where we talk about a little bit of anything and a whole lot of nothing. Today I've got Burna Gramz here with me. He's an artist. He's a man of many trades, producer. He's got a cartoon series. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So welcome to the podcast.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Man, I wouldn't complain about nothing.
All right. Well, getting into it, we just had a little bit of a pre-taping conversation about some of the things that you were into. Can you give me a recap on that?
Yes. I have took it upon myself to start producing in 25. I started music producing in 25. I dabbled a little bit with it in maybe 2020.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I did producing back in the 2010s, like 2016 or so, and I had fun with it, but it wasn't something I was super successful with either.
Right.
I mean, I had some good beats now. Don't get me wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta let me hear some of them beats, though.
Yeah. I actually got a beat machine over there. I'll let you check that out. It's actually got it's old. It's got the floppy disk on it.
Look, y'all don't understand. This dude here is a man of many trades himself. You know what I'm saying?
So, tell me where the name Burna Gramz came from, man.
It's really a street name, and like I said before, just to reiterate, it's more so of the term that came from Baby Boy, but it was before Baby Boy. It's basically the terminology of guns and butter.
I gotcha. Okay,
that's all.
I always assumed it was something to do with smoking weed, to be honest with you.
Nah, it had nothing to do. I'm gonna give you a little backstory. Honestly, the name Burner, the first name, came from me just like carrying firearms.
I gotcha. Okay.
So it had nothing to do with smoking.
I gotcha. So you're not in that kind of lifestyle anymore, right? Like,
no, I was younger.
Obviously, you got kids and whatnot now.
Most definitely, man. That was younger.
Okay. So you're from the area?
Yes, sir. I'm from Camden.
Okay, and born and raised?
Yes. I moved away from Camden when I was 15.
Okay, and that's because of the trouble or whatever?
Yeah, I got in trouble around these parts, and they told me either I would not be able to continue my education, or I could move to another county. And
okay,
that's what I did.
So, do you have any regrets from that, or?
Nah, I actually am very, very, very happy that I actually had that experience.
Right.
Because it changed me totally.
Right. Is your childhood kind of what got you into the production and the things that you're into now? Yeah,
because I was doing music. I was into music ever since I was a young jit, man. I'm talking about, I got pictures of me with a boombox, and I'm like 5 years old, bro.
Hey, okay. And now you've got this cartoon series.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about that.
SC Aliens, Super Celestial Aliens is not South Carolina Aliens. It is Super Celestial Aliens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always thought it was South Carolina because I mean, it's SC. So
I use abbreviation. I use the SC abbreviation a lot. Just like for my record label, it's called Southern Cinemas, SC.
Okay, is there a reason for that? Because you're in South Carolina, or?
I mean, I did Southern Cinemas because I really looked at it like my music was motion pictures.
Yeah.
So I was just putting the Southern in the front of it and just putting cinema on it, just like making cinematic music.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many kids do you have, man?
I have 4 kids, man.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
4 kids. I have a 17-year-old, a 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Okay. Is that kind of what got you into the cartoons?
Nah, actually, writing children's books did.
Okay.
Writing children's books did.
Is that what got you into the children's books?
No. Animation got me into illustration. There we go. That's the right terminology. Illustration got me into children's books.
Okay, so you like to draw?
Yes, and I like to digitally create.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know we were talking about this a little bit before, but you're using AI a lot in that?
Most definitely.
Yeah, AI is crazy, man.
Look, it's the wave of the future.
Yeah. There's a lot of folks that say, "Oh, AI is bad. AI is a tool, man. AI is what you make it." And I got a peer at work. At my my day job, that basically said AI is going to take everybody's jobs, and AI is just going to make you more productive, so it takes less people to get the job done.
That's right.
But that's my two cents on it. Obviously, I started an AI company, so
yeah.
Where do you think? How much longer do you think it would take you to do these types of things if you didn't have the AI?
Ooh, I ain't gonna lie. Just the cartoon alone, I'm gonna break it down to you. That's like, just because I do everything myself, it's really like 30 man hours per episode.
Right.
That's a lot of time to sit there and go scene for scene for scene for scene. And you got to do the dialogue.
Yeah.
So it's like 30 man hours per episode.
So what's your writing process look like?
Ooh, I ain't gonna lie. Just to give a little secret of filming, I always go off of the last thing that I produced. Yeah. Right. So like, let's say episode 2, I'm gonna go off of the end of episode 2 and build the story from there.
Right.
Right.
Do you have like a overarching whole picture story that you're reaching towards, or just kind of freestyling it?
Nah, in a sense, yes, but in a sense, no, because I already know the direction that I'm going, but I try not to like write it out in its entirety because I like cliffhangers.
Right. Yeah. So you get like a kind of a loose idea and then just build off of it?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And so you said you've been producing since the 2000s. You still into that too, right?
Yes. Only from 25. I started producing in 25 when I almost lost my eyesight. I had nothing but time on my hands.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in the crib. I bought me a gaming computer and I started messing with this program, and next thing you know, I'm 500 beats in.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Yes,
what happened with your eyesight?
Oh, man. People out there, please do not use Visine. Always use something called purified tears, okay? I'm giving y'all an actual piece of gems. Like, yeah, what happened was I went to the store and I bought a bottle of Visine, and normally it's drops.
Yeah.
But when I went to put it in my eye, every time I put it in my eye, I was just flushing my eye.
Yeah.
And I started to lose my vision in one eye, so I had to have immediate surgery.
Have you looked into getting that Visine about that at all?
I thought about it, but in a lot of cases, man, it takes a lot of money when you go to sue somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, but you also have lawyers that'll work based off the take too, though.
See, I didn't know that. I mean, you're giving me game. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do.
I mean, they'll be like, "Hey," and this ain't speaking from experience. It's just I've seen this. I've seen folks do this, but they'll say, "Hey, we'll take 75% and give you 25 or whatever we get." You know what I mean?
Right.
Damages attorneys. You might want to look into that.
Yeah, I mean, you just gave me some game, so now I got to do my research. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, Visine ain't a small company, so if you almost lost your vision, I'm pretty sure, and there might be disclaimers on the bottle too that get you. But I mean, I'm sure you can get a consultation and talk to somebody about it.
That's definitely what I need to do.
So do you got into like was it anime or something that kind of got you started, or what got you into the
I'm not gonna lie, I've always been a huge anime fan, so I've always been like I'm gonna take it all the way back, like early 2000s, like when I was just getting out of school. We used to watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z on VHS.
Oh yeah,
the Japanese version.
No doubt.
When you reading the titles.
Yeah, no, so, man, true story, man. Me and my brother. Oh man, we froze. What the fudge?
Well,
we're still recording right here.
For sure.
Me and my brother, we used to do the same thing. We would take trips to Colombia, and we would actually get the VHS tapes from the mall, and then we would come back home, and we would, we would watch the stuff on tape. I was the same way, man.
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about, there.
Yeah, we watched the Frieza saga and everything like that, and it was very fun.
You talking classics right there.
Yeah,
talking classics. The Frieza saga. Yeah.
But to be honest, man, I actually I watched Dragon Ball as a kid too. I was super into anime for a long time. I don't have a lot of time to watch anything now, but I still do watch anime when I have time.
I gotta ask you a question.
What's that?
Because I know that you know what I'm saying, you've traveled abroad.
Yeah.
How is that? I know you've seen some anime over there that you haven't seen in the States.
Man, when I went to Thailand and I've been to Thailand, Cancun, Jamaica. I don't watch TV, man.
Oh, you living life.
I'm living life, bro. I'm too busy. Like
like
Thailand is probably my favorite place that I visited so far. And I mean I enjoyed Cancun too, but when I went to Cancun, it actually had just gotten hit by a hurricane.
Oh wow.
So it was a little messed up, but I didn't really watch a lot of TV. The TV that I did watch, there was a show over there called Faded Hearts that all the girls that I would be with would want to watch. They left that on. It was like it was actually a Chinese show that was dubbed in Thai. So it was a trip, man.
Wow.
But
Nice.
okay, so tell me a little bit about your family dynamic coming up, man.
Oh man, most of my family is from like the north, right? And not too far north, like Maryland. Most of my family from like Maryland, you know what I'm saying? But my mom was born in Maryland. My grandmother was born in North Carolina.
Okay.
They moved to South Carolina when my mom was probably like 13, 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my mom's met my pops here in Camden. They had me, of course, and voila, you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. My family's actually originally from Indiana, so we're from up north too.
Oh, snap.
Not a little further north than Maryland, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So you've got the production, you've got the cartoon. Is there anything else you work on?
I still do music. I do it when I feel like it, though.
Right.
I mean, you know me personally, so I've never just consistently put out music. I only put out music if I have something to say. So I have a project that I've been working on that I fully produce. It's called West Side Stories. It should be dropping about next month.
Okay, cool. And I'll put links down below for all his stuff so you guys can check it out.
For sure.
Definitely, I enjoyed your music. I'm actually, I follow you on YouTube Music and all that, so I hear your new stuff when it comes out.
Yes, sir. But I got to tell your listeners, listen, y'all don't sleep. This guy's on my first mixtape. Okay, y'all. I ain't think you was going to shed light on that one.
No, I wasn't gonna say nothing about that.
See? Yeah, this guy got skills, man. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but he definitely got skills.
I appreciate that. It's been many years since I did anything with music. I make music through AI from time to time, like the podcast jingle I made with Suno. So I know we were talking about Suno a little bit before.
Yep. Because just to say this and we can move on, a lot of people love your verse, bro.
Do they?
Nah, I'm really being serious, bro. A lot of people love your verse on that song.
Yeah. I found when I was making music many years ago, my verses hit pretty good, and people didn't like my hooks. So that's kind of why I like being featured on people's songs, especially like yours, because you had a lot of catchy hooks.
Right.
There was another guy that was in Kershaw. He went by Fleek. I don't know I don't even know what his real name is, but because I always called him that. And he had some really catchy hooks, and I made some songs with him that were pretty popular. But he's got a food truck now. I need to reach out to him. I get him on the podcast, talk to him a little bit.
For sure.
But what else would people find interesting about you? Anything particular?
I would say, like I said, I do so much to where it's hard to kind of like horn in on one thing particularly. But internet radio is what I would say. I have a huge passion for internet radio, like we was talking about.
Yeah.
It's a lot of freaking work, but it's good.
I was going to bring that up too, the internet radio. Like, how long's it been since you were putting out episodes of that?
I'm not gonna lie. Far as YouTube episodes, it's probably been about 2 years. But like actually running the station and having it up and running, I just had it up and running the beginning of this year.
Okay, and you're gonna get back into that?
Yeah, I stopped it because when I started recording, I didn't want to kind of like jump everywhere. I kind of like try to concentrate on one thing at a time.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're gonna start to dial in? Do you do like reaction videos at all?
I don't do reaction videos, but I do a lot of like reels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll do my take on a reel, or make a reel of me doing my take on something or something like that. But I never really like kind of like go that far. I've
been trying to get into the podcasting thing, and I've done a good bit of research about trying to figure out who your audience is. For something like this, I did no research at all. Like full transparency, I just wanted to have conversations with people, and that's kind of why I started this. But
very organic.
Yeah, and I know that something I learned about is I can't remember what the term is they use, but you want to find like who your goal audience is. What is the term that they use? It'll come to me later, but once you figure out what that person looks like, you're trying to make stuff catered directly to that one person. Is that kind of what you do for the SC Aliens?
Nah, SC Aliens is not really pertaining to like one particular audience. It's actually just something that I came up with for like educational purposes, honestly.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? On the surface level, you're going to look at it and be like, okay, well, this is kind of a wild cartoon. But if you look deeper into the meanings of everything, then you'll see like, oh, okay, well, that mean that, and that mean that. Okay, Turtle Island. Let's give you a question. Do you know where Turtle Island was considered? What continent Turtle Island was considered?
No, what was that?
America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, on the SC Aliens thing, is aliens something that you think about a lot, like actual extraterrestrials?
Yes.
What
yes.
What do you think about that? What's your take on aliens?
You might not believe me, but in 1996, I saw a UFO in the sky.
Okay, I 100% believe you.
It was just sitting there, like it wasn't moving. The lights that was coming from it were like just like pointing down, but it was just hovering, and it was just sitting there. And to this day, I don't really talk about it because I know a lot of people just really don't believe it. But it kind of scared me a little bit, man.
That don't surprise me, man. I had it wasn't really something that crisp, but I was walking out of my old job a while back with a friend, and he was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "See what, man?" He was like, he swore up and down that the UFO just kind of paused in front of us and then flew off as soon as I turned around. I was like, "Man, I believe it. This guy's ex-military and stuff like that, so you know he don't get shook easy, but you could tell he was shook. You know what I mean?"
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I fully believe aliens exist. I 100% believe aliens exist. I mean, they're talking now about like you can see the government releases of the UFO documentaries and stuff like that, like sightings from the Navy and stuff. Like, I actually think they're in the ocean, to be honest with you.
You have took the concept clean from out of my mind because it's the only place on Earth that we only discovered 5% of.
Yeah, and in Antarctica, obviously, Antarctica got some stuff going on too.
They will never let us go past that ice wall.
Yeah, how do we have a treaty? Like, we can't agree on nothing as far as countries are concerned,
right?
Except for nobody can go to Antarctica.
Nobody.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Wow.
So what do you believe as far as like extraterrestrials are? I mean, we don't really get too much into religion and stuff on this. I haven't really talked to anybody about it too deeply on this channel, but I do believe in God, and I believe all that good stuff. I'm a Christian. I believe in Christ. And there's people out there that say Christ was an alien. He was an Anunnaki or something like that. And the Anunnaki actually, there's a wild theory. I talked about it actually with my last guest, the philosopher, that dude, and that dude he had some wild theories about it too. But essentially, they say that they created us to mine gold or whatever it was their task was that they wanted to do. So they modified our DNA. And you got any thoughts on that? Have you ever heard that before? Is that the first you're hearing that?
I never heard that, but I've seen that Steven Spielberg is coming out with a film, and he's saying that it's going to actually have Christians questioning their religion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Well, I don't think any film would ever really have me question my religion.
Look, this is what your man Steven Spielberg said, so I was lost when he said it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, for him saying that, I got to ask, what do you think he means by that?
He probably means that it's a film that will open your mind to other possibilities for the concept of reality. So there was actually, we talked a bit about anime. There was an anime series. Oh man, what was it called? It was about essentially they uploaded their intelligence into the cloud, and it killed them when they did this. Like their physical body died. I'll find the show name and give it to you after this. But essentially, man, I don't want to ruin the ending for you. If you have any interest in watching something like that,
yeah, for sure, yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I'm not going to ruin the ending for you, but I will say this. I'm sure you've heard of simulation theory.
Of course.
Yeah, this made me believe simulation theory is possible.
Oh wow!
And it made me believe too. That even if the possibilities are endless as for how deep the simulation can be.
Yeah.
I won't give away any details, but I'll give you the name of it. You can check it out. It's just something that really rocked my core as far as my beliefs of reality in general. So,
do you believe that reality is staged?
So they have actually proved. They say you can only trust what they say only so far, in my opinion. But they have proved that reality only exists as far as what we observe. Meaning, basically, it's like a video game. Things only render as we observe it. So, which is why when we're sending space probes out, the further out it goes, the more things that we can observe.
Of course.
So, I don't know what I feel about that, man, to be honest with you. But what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that, I actually have to agree because, truthfully, well, in a sense, let me take that back. They say seeing is believing, right?
Yeah.
But believe half of what you hear, none of what you see is another quote, right?
Right.
So which one do we follow from reality?
And then when you think about religion as a whole and what it actually is, I mean, it's belief without sight. It's faith without any type of proof. So
there you go.
It's definitely an interesting topic. I think I don't see how somebody, like, as a Christian, I don't see how we could think that God would create us and just us. But there was what was the podcast? There was a podcast that I watched, or a video or something recently, where it talked about the lady that interviewed the alien at Roswell. Have you heard about that?
No, you put me on game.
Man, I might have to give you a list of links. But essentially, what they said was the alien was talking to people, was talking telepathically to this lady. And I watched the whole thing from start to finish. You can believe it or not. I don't know that I believe it. I'm just saying it was interesting.
Right.
He said that the alien told her that we are actually celestial beings, like humanity, and this is like a prison. And essentially, our spirits are actually what we are, and this entire existence recycles our spirit into these physical bodies. So like reincarnation. And that's what traps our spirits here. And that basically, there's infinite expansion. There's other beings out there that are like them, that are like us. And it's interesting the way that he basically said that the alien was telling her that, the aliens want to intercede and free us from the prison, but they can't do it unless the majority of us actually are already on the same page as understanding what the prison is, or it'll mess us up, like mentally. But it said that basically when we die, it clears our memory. It cycles us through the system again, and we're born again through some other species or being on the planet.
Okay, I got this. Okay, from that, I'm going to piggyback off of this, right? That explains deja vu.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on parallel dimensions?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, just like you said, it cannot just be this realm.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We're not the only species. This can't be the only realm.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, it's different dimensions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And of course there's aliens.
Yeah.
We're calling them aliens, but they're just other beings.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just how I feel.
They're alien to us.
Exactly. But we're called a foreigner, a what?
Alien, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just a generic name for saying a foreigner.
Yeah, and man, you're starting to act like the Dr. Fisher that I had on. He's a philosopher that breaks down the meanings of words. So like, but I thought about that in that extraterrestrial just means not of Earth. essentially. So I mean, it's not necessarily alien. Doesn't necessarily mean it. I don't know. It's some kind of weird existence. It just means it doesn't exist here.
Exactly.
So, and on that same token, though, if they are in the ocean and based from the ocean, like Atlantis was real, and they're really underwater creatures or something like that, then really they aren't extraterrestrial.
No,
because they are of Earth.
They say, I don't know if you know this, but you're pretty knowledgeable. They said, I saw this graph, right, on how deep the ocean can be. They said you can put, I guess it's a few, what's that tall building?
The Empire State Building or something?
Empire State Buildings, and stack them on top of each other, and you still won't hit the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, for sure. The ocean's extremely deep, and we know very little about it. Yeah, that's definitely something. And then they're finding ruins and stuff on the ocean floor in certain places. Have you heard about that?
No. What kind of ruins?
Like stone. So they'll say like I think it's in the Bermuda Triangle, and I might be wrong. This is all off memory. It's kind of freestyling here.
No, go ahead.
But basically, they're saying that there was a strait that they were pouring sand into to try to build a bridge, and they found that there was a surface at the bottom of the ocean that was incredibly flat. And they stopped building the bridge because of this surface. They didn't know what it was, and they found that it's some type of structure that was built apparently long ago. Obviously, they don't know when it was built. They've got no idea how long it's been there or anything like that. Like they don't have any context with it, but it's something they're trying to investigate to figure out what happened with it or why it's there. But it's a clear structure underwater that should not exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not something that the ocean would naturally create.
So do you feel that the ocean levels rose over time, and this thing was there before the ocean levels rose?
It could be. It could be that there is a bunch of theories like the Younger Dryas impact theory, where they had some type of comet impact that caused everything in the water to shift. It caused the polar caps to melt instantly, which flooded the Earth, which is what they're saying is the biblical flooding and all that good stuff.
That's right.
But I don't know, man. I didn't dig too deep into that, but I mean, it could be something that existed long ago and wasn't really on below sea level at one point, and now it is. But it also could be something that's living underwater. You know what I mean?
But do you think it's more extraterrestrial, or do you think it's more like?
That's a good question. Like, I don't know. Even when you think about the pyramids, like, I don't consider it extraterrestrial because it's here, but I don't see how we could have created that. Even with the technology that we have today, we can't move the types of stones that they have, that they built that stuff with. Exactly. So what are your thoughts about that?
I love Egyptianology. So really, I've heard the theory of aliens actually coming in and helping them.
Yeah.
You've heard that theory?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not wrong then.
Yeah. I mean, it's all speculation. It's all theory because we don't really know. But it makes sense that they would have some type of technology to be able to cut that granite so accurately, to be able to pick it up and move it, because it was many miles away from where they built it. So it makes sense that there was some kind of foreign involvement in that. But man, what do you think about like manifestation?
Oh man, you're going deep now. You're going deep. Have you ever heard of, what do you call it? It's like these codes. I forgot the name. I got it on me. Hold on one second. I don't know if you, because you're pretty knowledgeable about a lot, right? And I'm pretty sure you heard of them, but it's a particular set of codes, and it's like basically like manifestation codes.
Yeah, I haven't heard of manifestation. Oh, okay, you're talking about numerical type stuff.
Yes,
I got you.
And you repeat these numerical numbers.
So it could be. Nikola Tesla actually had a theory about 369 being like at the center of like he said if you understand these numbers, you understand the universe or something like that.
That's right.
And some people were saying that Nikola Tesla was an alien.
I mean, I can believe it.
Yeah, I don't know that he was an alien, but maybe he had some kind of contact with aliens or some type of experience with the aliens that kind of opened his mind to the way things are. But
Right.
he's got a whole theory on how to visualize and create things, and it boils back down to like jumping back to the simulation theory. Like if we're in a simulation, if we are these celestial beings, then why can't we visualize and manifest things? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a video game and you know the cheat code, obviously you can. And I want you to send me that too, by the way.
Oh, for sure, I got you. You know I got you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it actually works. And I ain't mean to cut you off, but honestly, I did one of the codes just sitting in an interview, got the job.
Yeah. Imagine being it makes sense to me, but imagine being like a gamer, like you create this video game, and you're the coder, you're the one that designed the game, and you're in the game playing the game. What's to say you can't adjust things while you're in the game? You know, that's kind of how I see manifestation.
Yeah.
So
but me for manifestation, I had to piggyback off of what you said earlier. It's like, you know, it's like the unseen. It's like you got to have faith. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you got to be deranged or delusional and know that this is going to happen for it to come into fruition.
Right. I've kind of been on that level, like with the business aspect of it. So, you know, for me, I've worked at obviously, you know, my backstory too. I've worked at a distribution center for a really long time. For sure. And I've always wanted to do my own thing. So I finally found something that I enjoy doing, which is the Heaston Innovations I was showing you earlier. I enjoy doing it because I'm able to create. I think that all humanity, you know, obviously we can talk about NPCs or whatever, but all humanity, I feel like, has a deep desire at some level to create, of course, which I mean kind of comes back to like even like the cartoon, you know what I'm saying? Like you're creating characters that don't exist, you're creating an environment that doesn't exist, and then giving it a story, giving it life. That's right. So you know, I don't know where I was going with that little tangent there, but
because it circles back around to the manifestation, and bringing everything full circle, because this is something that I actually wanted to do and I saw myself doing as a kid too. Right. So I actually manifested a lot of just to say this, any and everything I ever set out to do, I've accomplished it already.
I've got a friend that says that about me, and I'm like, man, I don't know about that, man. Like, but he's true when I sit and think about it. All the different checkpoints that I set in my life, I would set goals, and even if it might have took, you know, 10 years past what I wanted it to be, but it still came to fruition at some point.
See?
Yeah.
See?
So I mean, I never thought of it like that, man. Yeah. Like even I don't know, even in my old job or whatever, when I wanted to be a manager, like I was like, yeah, I want to be a manager, and it literally took me. I didn't get promoted until I got promoted about, I think it's 8 years ago, when I actually got that promotion. And you know, I didn't. The person that I asked to help me get that promotion at the time told me it flat out wasn't going to happen.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, what do I got to do to be a manager here? And they're like, it's not going to happen. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, you got to get a degree. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to go to another building. Like, you can't do it here. And then, you know, at the end of the day, I did get a degree, and they did away with the degree requirement when I got the degree.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, and then and then I got the promotion right when they did away with that. And you know, that was one of the things that was one of my, you know, even though it's like a little thing, it's like what is a job? Like who cares, right? But at the end of the day, you know, it was something I visualized, something I wanted, and I went after it, and I got it. So
see,
I think it's the same thing as kind of what you're saying with the SC aliens.
For sure. It's like when you're a child, you have like all of these, like that's why imagination is important, right?
Yeah,
because it gives you the opportunity to figure out what you want to do or who you want to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why they say you never, ever, ever should just like diminish a child's imagination.
Yeah. Was that something that in your youth that was developed well with your parents or anything like that?
Nah, man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I had more odds against me than for me.
Yeah, I could see that. How did you grow your own imagination without that support?
We circle back around to manifestation and faith. Like you just gotta know that, hey, I am great. You know what I'm saying? No matter what somebody says, I know I'm good at this. I'm going to prove them wrong.
Right. Part of that, not to make an excuse for your parents or anything,
You're good.
but I've got a firm belief that our schooling systems are failing us.
Most definitely. You got a great point.
And I think that the reason they are is because the schooling system's intention was not really to, like, I got this saying, and I don't know, people may agree with it, they may not, but I think that they aren't teaching people how to think anymore. They're teaching people what to think. So,
Oh, for sure.
so when it comes to like creativity and things like that, it's seen as that's bad. Like, you don't want to, and again, there's exceptions to the rule, obviously, but they don't want people to know how to think and how to be creative. They want people to know how to do math so that they can figure out how many cartons they need to touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, schools were intended to turn out factory workers, in my opinion.
That is exactly what school was made for.
Right. And I don't think college is much better, to be honest with you.
College is a ripoff.
Yeah, I agree. I hate and I don't hate that I went to college. I think probably 20 years ago we had a credentialist society where your degree mattered. I don't think that matters anymore these days, because I think companies and employers are actually seeing that skills actually are what matters more than credentials.
That's right.
So, and honestly, I think with the advent of AI, I think that a lot of trade work is actually going to be the safer career paths than the stuff that I hate to say it, managerial type positions and,
For real.
Anything like accounting, anything that math can do, but again, like, I believe I spoke about this with Dr. Fisher as well, but things like whenever the calculator came out, they're like, oh, this is going to make people dumber because they're not going to be able to do math anymore. No, it's just a tool that they use. So if you can learn how to use the tool of AI effectively, it can be like having a computer in your pocket.
Look, you just basically said a mouthful, right? Without saying a mouthful. Because in my mind, when I think about AI, this might sound crazy, but this is my theory. AI is only as useful as let me correctly say this. AI is only as useful as much information you give it. So if you aren't but so smart, you're gonna be limited with AI.
Right.
If you know the right questions to ask, you're gonna get unlimited responses.
Right. I think that do you know what AI actually, not AI, but what the actual they call it LLMs, large language models. Do you know how AI was actually created?
No, talk to them.
So essentially, they didn't code out something that could, search and churn out just information and data like that. They churned out something that could learn. So the coding was not as complicated as people think. I'm sure it was very complicated, but they made something that could have a conversation with a human and learn from it. And that's how that's why it's scaling so fast, because the more advanced it gets, the more it learns, the faster it is picking up the learning. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So essentially, at the beginning, the AI was very stupid, and you would talk to it, and it would say something that didn't make any type of sense. So the human, that's why they paid people to talk to the AI. The human would respond and say, hey, don't say it like that. When somebody says something like that, you need to say something like this. This is the type of verbiage you would use in that situation. And they did that for a long time. And because it learns, it compounded the information over time. It got smarter and smarter, and then it got more and more to where you couldn't really tell if you were talking to a human or talking to AI. Like, it got to the point that it is now, and it's only going to get even better. So, like you said, it's like ever since we've got smartphones, I've always looked at it like we've got unlimited intelligence, access to unlimited intelligence. Like if you have something break or something you need to repair, you can go to YouTube and find a video that walks you step by step how to do it.
I swear.
It just indexes the knowledge for you and makes it more accessible. And AI is just making that even faster. Mm-hmm. So you've got the cartoon brand, you've got the production company. How do you manage the work between the two? And then I'm sure you got the 9 to 5 as well that you got going on. How do you manage your time?
Honestly, you can't go to work for anybody else and don't work for yourself.
Right.
That is like the craziest thing you could ever do, right?
Yeah.
Because you're never going to be fulfilled in life. If you just go to work, come home, you're never going to be fulfilled. This right here, this is your fulfillment.
Yeah.
Because this is what you desire to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we always have to set time out to the side for the things that we love to do, because this is what makes us feel alive.
Yeah. You were talking about like watching anime and everything like that, and you just clicked something in my mind. It's a belief that I have, and you're 100% right. So you go to this job, and even if you're fully on board, bought in with the job, like I'll do the best everywhere I'm at, no matter what I'm working on. I try to put my best effort into it. So even if I was working for somebody else, I would do the best I could. But I had a clicking moment at one point in my life where I'm like, man, I am doing all this work to get somebody else richer. And there was a quote, I can't remember who said it, but they said that you'll never get rich working for somebody else.
You better know it.
And that's kind of what got me to the point where I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't know what that thing was at the time. This was actually around COVID. But that's what shifted my thinking. Like, man, if I'm willing to work this hard for somebody else, why won't I work this hard for myself?
Bingo. You know what I'm saying? And reap all of the benefits.
Right. I mean, and the benefits and the downfalls, obviously. Like if you're up big, you win. If you're down, you lose a lot. But still, another quote, and I know I've said this before too, but it doesn't matter. They said that what do you have to lose by starting a business? Say you start a business and you lose everything. What's the worst case scenario? You go back to working for somebody else.
That's it.
It's the same thing as what you're already doing.
That's right.
So, and then tying it all back together, like I said, you've got a lot going on. I've got a lot going on. I think that TV and things like that, the reason why I don't watch that stuff anymore is because there's two types of currency in life. You got money and then you got time. And I feel like if you aren't paying with money, you're paying with time. So that's kind of what I feel like about the entertainment industry. And I watch YouTube videos and stuff like that because, like I said, YouTube is unlimited knowledge. So, if you spend your time to attain knowledge that you can apply to doing something, then you're spending your time wisely, versus if you spend your time, just watching something from an entertainment perspective. And not knocking, because I know you got an entertainment business.
No, you good. No. I'm soaking it in. Talk to me.
But if you spend your time just solely for entertainment, like you need to have entertainment, you need to have releases, you need to have some downtime so that you can recharge your mind. You need to spark your creativity, to things like that. Right. But if all you do, like my childhood, man. My dad was great. Like my mom and my dad were both wonderful parents. They did very good. But I'll never forget, man, like the amount of time that we sat sitting in the living room just watching TV. Like we could have been doing something else, man.
For sure. For sure.
We could have started a family business. We could have been doing some type of other work. And I don't fault them for that, because like I said, the educational system was designed to churn out factory workers, and that's what they did.
Yes, sir.
And it almost did it to me. I mean, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm just started a business in my late 30s. You know what I mean? So
hey, listen, it's never too late.
I 100% know that. The average millionaire is in there. The average first time millionaire is in their 40s.
Yes.
So yes. I'm tracking that. So I'm not discouraged by it.
You're on the right path, brother. You're on the right path. So keep going.
I do think that that the youth is a little different though, and I think it's because our generation kind of woke up to it. And honestly, that is somewhat of a problem for the manufacturing industry, because the workers are starting to get a little less, into the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to think, though, just like when we were speaking off camera, you got to think. Now, I was watching something earlier, right, where Finesse 2 Times is I don't know if he's beefing, but he had a spat with Cassinet.
Oh, okay.
About Streamer University.
Wow.
All of these rappers, it don't even matter what their profession is now, but it just seems like most of these famous people are trying to convert into the streaming era now.
Yeah.
So now when you get these famous people who's coming into this streaming world, that's gonna make that the watchers and the young kids want to be what?
Streamers. Yeah. Well, 100%, man. If you think about the evolution of how they made money with music, obviously we started with CDs, tapes, vinyls, all that stuff, right? And then Napster comes along and things like that, where you can just download everything. You know what I mean? So they're losing money on that. Artists transition to live performances. Can't steal the live performance, right?
Nope.
And I mean, honestly, I believe, if I'm correct, they still are making the vast amount of their money doing that. But then you're correct, man. Now they're starting to transition to actually streaming. And I think part of that's because of folks like, Cosmology and all these other folks that showed how much Mr. Beast.
Yes, Mr. Beast. showed, we can keep going. DDG.
Yeah.
Adrian Boner and
Drewski
and Dean the Great. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna lie. Dean the Great and Adrian Boner stream is like the funniest stream I ever seen in my life.
You know who I like to watch streaming? Like I said, I watch the clips of it. I don't watch the streams because I don't have time for it. But Rampage Jackson is a trip, man.
He's a nut. Rampage is a nut.
He likes to go to these foreign countries. He goes to the same countries I visit, and some of the things he's saying to these girls that don't speak English is just hilarious to me, man. Yeah,
I've seen it.
I can't even say it because I don't want to get I don't want to get flagged. You know what I'm saying? but yeah, it just does go to show that entertainment in itself is morphing now. And I think that's something that I think that's something other podcasters brought up in the past is it's going to be hard for AI. AI can do a lot of things, but it should not ever be able to replicate the human connection, the interaction that we have as people. So what are your thoughts on something like that?
Well, you got to think, AI doesn't have a heartbeat. AI doesn't have emotions.
Yeah.
AI can recognize those things when you're speaking to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can kind of try to pick up on it from your voice and the pitch and the tone.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're not going to be able to give you what we're giving.
Right. I think the scary part for me is I think at some point it's going to be able to fake it, though.
You think so?
I think at some point it's going to be able to be indistinguishable. It's going to be able to understand context. It's just like when I learned to read. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This is props to my mom. I give her props for this all the time because I'd had a hard time reading as a kid, and she actually taught me that you don't have to know all the words. If you can figure out the context of the sentence, you can deduce what the meaning of the word is.
Right.
That's basically how I learned to expand my vocabulary. I didn't really like to read until I figured out that I could learn from it like that. And I think that AI at some point is going to be able to deduce what the emotion should be attached to the conversation based off the context of the conversation and the wording and everything. So that's I think at some point it will be able to fake the emotions to some degree, which is concerning. But I think that the at the end of the day, the thing that it won't be able to fake is like my stammering just now. It won't be able to fake the problems, right. the failures. It won't be able to fake the human moments. You know what I mean? And part of the human moments, like a lot of things were discovered because of people making errors. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a good example offhand. I'm thinking gunpowder, but I'm not real sure of the. I believe it was found trying to make something else. It was alchemy or something like that. They were trying to make. A certain type of metal into gold, and it exploded. And they were like, "Oh, gunpowder!" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what can I use this for? You know what I mean?
Right.
So and that's kind of what I'm saying when I say that. Like, I don't know that AI will be able to. AI is learning from its mistakes. And maybe it will be able to do that aspect too. Who knows? Because I mean, they're using it for like research of diseases and things like that. They got these virtual labs now that, like, I don't know how much longer we're going to actually be aging, and how much longer we're going to have health issues as a whole as far as humanity. Obviously, there's going to be a certain amount of time where it's only available to the super rich,
of course,
just because that's the way that we've established our society. But at some point, it's going to be common for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do you think about that? What would you feel like if you knew that you were going to be this age forever for the rest of time, and you're never going to have to worry about dying unless something happens?
Being immortal, I don't think I would like that. As crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, because think about it. Are the rest of your loved ones are going to live to be the same immortal status as you, or are you going to lose your people? Do
you think that that's possible?
No. Okay. We're definitely mortal beings.
Yeah, so I'm not saying immortal now. Okay. Let's not conflate the two things, because immortality be like Superman, like nothing can kill you. Right?
Exactly.
There are beings now that age indefinitely unless something external kills them. Jellyfish, they will live until it is killed.
Right.
So, that being said, like you could still die. I'm just saying you don't age anymore. Your body doesn't decline. So I'm into peptides a lot. That's part of the reason why I lost so much weight so fast. It's part of the reason why, like, I was able to reverse my biological age when I first started taking Epithalon. Mm-hmm. My biological age, according to Rhythm Health, was 49 years old, and now showing as 36 years old.
Right.
And all that is like a biological thing. It's it measures the length of your telomeres on your DNA, and we can get into that later. I've already talked about this on the podcast before.
Right.
But essentially, there are things now that they have found that reverse your biological age, and the breakdown of DNA over replication is what I believe causes aging. Mm-hmm. So I don't see it as being far-fetched for them to at some point stop aging in humans. How do you feel about that?
Look, that's kind of mind-blowing, but like I said beforehand, if my peoples and the people I love, if they don't age and we're all on this same basically not mortality, but the same scale of not aging, right?
Yeah.
I think I can be cool with it, but if I'm losing my people, nah, I think I would just rather get old and just go ahead and just leave it be.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think death is obviously scary, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And we talked about the Roswell alien thing too, so it might even just be a recycling, which would be friggin' insane.
I've heard that though.
Yeah.
You're not the only person that I've heard this come from, where they saying that we actually are just in a cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They said that, I've heard these exact things that you said. And it wasn't even from Roswell. These was from like hood people.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that they was even talking like this.
Yeah.
So it just threw me off, because I've definitely heard of those exact things.
That might dial back into the Steven Spielberg thing about changing people's perceptions on Christianity, because even folks that like you said, you might not necessarily investigate or study some certain topic, mm-hmm. but if you're watching something that is supposed to be entertainment, but it has theories or it has past, I firmly believe if we can imagine it, we can make it happen.
For sure.
Which, surprises me that we don't have flying cars yet. I think that we're probably going to bypass flying cars altogether, unfortunately, because I would like to have a flying car.
For sure. That would be dope.
I think I actually think we're going to have space-time bending type vehicles before we have the flying cars actually relevant.
Right.
And we'll be able to actually instantly travel from one space to another just by bending space-time.
But would that take question. If that was eligible, right, and we could do that, how would it take the toll on our bodies on that quick travel?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm no physicist or scientist or anything like that, but if
I'm just an educated guess.
Yeah, if you think about the theory of relativity, if we're inside of it, it shouldn't impact us at all. If you get in an airplane and start flying 500 miles per hour, do you feel any different?
No.
So it'd be the same concept. It's if you're bending the space-time around this entity, then I don't think anything on the inside of that entity would experience anything different at all. It would be about kind of segregating the phenomena, the actual what's taking place. Now, obviously, if something happens mid-journey,
that's different.
That's like, hey, if the airplane falls out the sky, it's not like you're gonna feel good about it.
No.
Have you ever traveled, man?
Yes, I commercial. No.
Okay.
I flew on a 2-engine Cessna and threw up and never got back on a plane again.
I experienced that in Boy Scouts. That was my first time ever getting on a plane, was on a 2-engine Cessna. They flew us over Camden and everything like that.
Yep.
My first actual trip on a commercial airplane was, I'll never forget this. I had a boss named Max, and we were flying to another building to test something out for the company. Mm-hmm. And I told him it was my first time flying on a plane. And it was like every time we hit turbulence, he would look like this. He would look back at me, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna die. You know what I mean?
So how is you know better than me? Like the turbulence is like basically like you driving and hitting a bump or something.
I haven't. Thank God, I haven't experienced super bad turbulence yet. I have experienced turbulence, and the most terrifying things that I've ever experienced in flight was flying to Jamaica, and I think that's mainly because their runway is like, the length of my house from the ocean. So like you're looking out the window, it's like water, and then the wheels touch down, and as soon as the wheels touch down is when you start seeing land. So it's pretty scary, man.
Yeah, nah.
But flying to Thailand and Atlanta and all these other places that are landlocked, or at least the airport's landlocked, like I never really experienced a whole lot of turbulence. There's been turbulence. The plane shakes a little bit, everything rattles, and it's very unnerving if you're sitting over the wing and you look out at the wing and you just see it flapping back and forth. But it's designed to do that, though. You want it to give a little bit so it doesn't snap off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if it snaps off, you're in some trouble.
Big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But okay. How about we get back into some normal topics here?
Yeah, for sure. Because we definitely was out there.
What's the best piece of advice somebody's ever given you?
Let me think on that one. The best piece of advice somebody ever gave me was to never quit.
Okay.
Never quit. No matter how tired you are, no matter how frustrated you are, you just don't know how close you are to the finish line unless you keep going.
Right. You haven't failed unless you give up.
Bingo.
Yeah.
There you go.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. And I've been told no a lot in a lot of different aspects of life. Mm-hmm. And I found too, like if you keep pushing, you might have to go through 9 no's before you get to that 10th yes.
But you're gonna get that yes.
Yeah. And you only need 1 yes.
That's it.
So, it's not like no is a bad thing. And getting into the real estate, man, that kind of hardened my heart towards the word no, the word not interested, they call it objections and everything like that. But I'm super grateful for the time that I spent, and I'm still doing real estate, but not to the capacity that I was 2 years ago. But I'm super grateful for the experience that I had with that, because persistence is key, man. Like sure. That's a good words of wisdom that you got there. Who gave you that?
My father, rest in peace. He told me just never give up, keep going.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the point in time he told me, it was a little like heart touching. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the biggest influence on your life? Was it your father?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
My grandmother.
How so?
That was the person that basically put the battery in my back and told me I can do anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was my cheerleader. You know what I mean? The person that was there, thick and thin, right or wrong, that was the person that was there for me.
Right. Are you applying like these lessons to your kids now?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. I have 3 boys and 1 girl, so I have a huge responsibility.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you got boys and you're a father, and you have a huge responsibility because you have to raise them to be grown men at one time.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I agree with you. If you could change one thing about your past, what do you think that would be?
If I could change one thing about my past, I would have stuck to baseball. I was super good at baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? What caused you to stop doing the baseball?
Life. Girls
growing up, everything.
Yeah, exactly. That
was
growing up, man.
That was the same for me, man. Like chasing girls. That's again. We go back to it either cost you time or money. Girls cost you both.
and I gotta jump back on that because I never got to say my piece on that. That is a excellent way of looking at currency.
Yeah,
because I never viewed time as currency.
Yeah. 100%.
That's huge.
100%. What do you trade? What do you trade to employers for money?
Time.
Yeah, time is the only currency that we all have the same amount of.
That's right.
And it's just basically, how wisely you invest that time is what the return of the money looks like, in my opinion. So
for sure,
glad I could blow your mind with that one.
That's dope, man. You got me thinking different, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I can't recall who. I don't think anybody really ever told me that. I think it's just something that I came to the conclusion of. But I'm sure somebody's said it. Somebody wiser than me said it at some point in history, for sure.
But you saying it today, so we're gonna hold it. We're gonna hold that one. I'm
100% positive it's not the first time it was said. But when I came to that realization, it changed the way I spent my time.
For sure.
Because I spend my money differently now too. Like obviously I make decent money doing what I do. Mm-hmm. But I try not to spend my money unless there's some type of return that I'm gonna see some type of return on the money. And this actually did come from somebody, Kevin O'Leary. Okay. I used to watch Shark Tank all the time. I don't know, you ever seen that?
Yes.
He says he looks at his money like little soldiers and he sends them out to battle so they can go and take hostages and bring some more back.
Nice. I like that.
So, but I'm not as diabolical as he is with it, I'm sure. I think for me, I spend money on things that don't matter too, but the majority of the money that I spend now is things that I think will at some point have a return.
For sure.
Like I spend a lot of money on all this stuff, obviously, and I didn't buy this stuff for the podcast, and I didn't start the podcast because I wanted to make money. I may never make money with this, and that's fine because I enjoy doing it, like you said.
Exactly.
But again, I'm still trading my time for something, and it's something that I enjoy, so it's worth it. But on the flip side of that, I did buy this stuff because, like I said, I wanted to make videos for my real estate business. I want to make videos for my AI business. Mm-hmm. So, I made the initial investment so that I could make these videos to try to make money.
Of course.
If I didn't see a path to actually making some type of return, I wouldn't have did it. You know what I mean?
Nah, I get it. I definitely get it. But you got to, just like I told you, you know what I'm saying? And like my pops told me, man, don't give up.
100%.
You're going to get to where you need to be.
Yeah, 100%. What's something you believe now that you didn't believe 5 years ago?
Aliens. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I believed in aliens 5 years ago, man.
Right. No, I'm joking. What I believed in that I didn't believe in 5 years ago, it ain't much that I believe in now that I didn't believe in 5 years ago, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's perfectly a good answer. For me, I think I didn't believe the simulation theory. I was like, man, there's no way. But like I said, after I watched that show, I'm gonna send you that, man. That thing rocked my world. After I saw that, I'm like, maybe.
Look, when I go to the house, I'm gonna be watching it for sure.
It's funny, man, because like I say, I don't spend a lot of time watching TV shows or anything like that. But this one, I do watch anime from time to time. It's short, man. It's like 18 minutes episode type thing. And this anime, it's a type of anime. It caught my eye because this dude that looked like Steve Jobs was floating in the air and manifesting like boulders and throwing it at his kid, and the kid just slices it in half. Because think about it, man. If going back to manifestation, if this is a simulation, and our celestial beings, our spirits or whatever it is that's driving these physical bodies, actually has some type of connection to that simulation, we should be able to program it.
Yeah.
We should be able to manifest. It makes sense that we should be able to change things in our physical world if the physical world doesn't even really exist and our spiritual world is what's tied to it.
But don't we make our own reality though? Like converting back, we make our own reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Like everything that's ever been created was mentally thought of first.
Facts.
It's not like and some of it was formed from nature. Like I'm not sure what inspired the Wright brothers, but I'm sure they saw a bird flying in the air. It was like, oh, we should be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You see an eagle soaring, like, oh, okay, well, maybe we could get build something to simulate that.
Right.
So but as far as like I'm talking actually the actual real manifestation of believing something so much that it actually happens. And I think the negative aspect of that is true too. Like if you're like, oh God, I got cancer, you're gonna get cancer. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get cancer. Yeah, for sure.
Especially if our celestial being that's controlling this body actually does control this body. I'm sure you could manifest some type of illness in it.
Do you think we can manifest healing as well?
100%. I'm sure we can. I've been on a health journey. I'm down. I haven't weighed myself in about a week and a half, but last time I weighed, I was 114 pounds down. I was 350 pounds, and I decided I needed to make a change in my life.
You got up to 350, Rob?
I was up to 350.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was. Whenever I went down to tie my shoes and I was out of breath, I was like, yep, something got to change.
How did that, because I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, and I never known you for being that big at all.
Yeah.
So how did the weight come about?
So I've gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight. I was obese as a child.
Okay. That makes sense.
And that came from, because I always ask my parents how this came to be. Like, when you're a kid, you don't control essentially what you have access to eat or how much you're able to eat. So I was like, and I 100% believe you can change your diet around. I know there's some people with medical conditions and everything, but I'm saying like that's a rarity. But for me, like personally, they said when I was born, I was an underweight baby. Like I was extremely underweight, like, and I wouldn't eat anything. And so my mom, she was taking me to the doctor and everything like that. And the doctor said, just give him anything he'll eat. And guess what? I would eat junk food. You know what I mean? So they started giving me a bunch of junk food and that was all I would eat. So, as a kid, I was overweight. I got picked on a lot in school for my weight and everything like that. And when I got to my late teens and early 20s, like I said, we started wanting to chase girls. You know what I mean?
Of course.
and girls didn't want that pudgy little boy. You know what I mean? They wanted the fit boy in my mind. So
yo, that's crazy because that was my childhood nickname.
What's that?
Pudgy.
Pudgy?
Yes. My family called me Pudgy because I literally was like the fat kid.
Yeah, I was a fat kid too, man. But in my late 20s, I read this book. It's a fantastic book. If you ever want to learn how to lose weight, it's called Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle by Tom Venuto. I'll put a link down down below too for folks, just so you can see. But he taught, I tried running, and before I read this book, I tried running. I used to run 5 miles a day. I had the neighbor's dog would run with me. His name was Blaze. I'll never forget that dog. He was fantastic. But I ran 5 miles a day, and I still looked fat. I started lifting weights. I still looked fat. And I was stronger. I was able to run a really long time. I was fit, but I was still fat because the diet is what I still didn't have locked down.
Exactly.
And, everybody has different body types, and that's something that that book goes into. Like, how do you tell what body type you have? How do you know what to eat based off your body type? And the biggest thing was, how do you track what you're doing and make adjustments as you're doing it to see success? Right. So for me, I got down to 10% body fat back then. And, I gained the weight back twice now. So the first time was when I went through my divorce. I went through my divorce and it was a very stressful time. And even before the actual divorce, like the marriage was falling apart. We had a miscarriage, and the miscarriage, it killed both of us. And, it shook her mentally. It shook me mentally. And I just went back to what I know. I just ate, man. I stopped working out.
Depression.
Yeah, I was depressed. I was heavily depressed. I gained a lot of weight. I didn't get to 350. I think it was probably 270 or something like that. And I lost it all back again. lost it all back again, got my drive back, and then went through another relationship shift. And I can tell you, it's nobody's fault but my own. But I think the alcohol is actually kind of what drove me to obesity the second time. Okay. Because I would drink, and then when I would drink, and then I still wouldn't eat that bad, but it messed my hormones up. So that's what actually brought me to peptides in current times. I did blood work trying to figure out, why am I 350 pounds? And my diet's clean. I'm exercising. I'm still not losing weight. And I found out that my hormones were all jacked up. So I started taking peptides to try to right size my hormones. And then that's when I started seeing some real success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I asked you because I wasn't trying to,
you're fine.
Be all in your business.
Nah, bro.
But I asked because I actually have a homeboy who just had a stroke, and he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, for me, my when I got my blood work back, I saw my estrogen was off the charts. My testosterone was really, really low. Like I was in bad shape, and I was like, how do I fix this? And obviously, testosterone replacement therapy was suggested, but I do my research before I do anything.
For sure.
And testosterone replacement therapy is permanent. If I started that, I'd have to be on that the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Well, they say you can ease off of it, but you'll never be the same. Like, because the thing is, you're putting artificial testosterone into your body. So the more you do that, the longer you do that, the less testosterone your body is actually going to naturally produce.
I get it.
So I was like, how do I increase my testosterone without replacing my testosterone? And enter peptides.
right, for sure.
Because I've got a bunch of videos talking about peptides, so I won't get too deep into it. But they're signal molecules, so it basically signal my pituitary gland that I need testosterone in my body. And now my testosterone is around normal levels. My estrogen is a little higher now, but it was actually in optimal levels for a couple months. And again, I started back drinking again. I went to Thailand, and when I came back, my estrogen was spiked. And I took some of that habit back. That's why I quit drinking now. Like, I haven't had a drink in a couple weeks now. I'm going drinking tomorrow. I'm taking some friends to a ball game tomorrow. But like I said,
for sure,
I don't drink every day anymore. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, you can't cheat yourself neither, though. Like,
yeah.
You got to enjoy life, too.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. Like, you want to have a healthy balance of living life and being able to live life. But the peptides help me correct my hormone problems. I see that through my blood work, but also like the mental fog is gone. I got clarity now. And that I fully believe that by October, I'll be back to that. I'm shooting to get down to 10. I want to even try to see if I can hit 8% body fat by the time I hit my birthday, which is, I've never been that low before. Mm-hmm. And I think that I honestly believe from the diet that I had as a child and from the drinking and smoking and all the stuff that I was doing when I was younger, my hormones were unbalanced then too, because I got ripped, but I still didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I looked like a bobblehead, man. I had no muscle. Even though I was lifting weights every day, I was strong.
Oh, wow.
I was lifting weights every day. I was strong. I was able to run. I started doing insanity. I was ripped. You could see the striations in my abs.
Right.
But still, I look like a huge head on a tiny body. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'll show you a picture when we get done. But like I said, now I'm trying to do it more balanced. I'm paying attention to my hormones. Like I'm losing fat and not losing muscle. And back then I gained muscle and I lost fat, but not to this extent. And I think it's because of my hormones.
Right.
Which is why I'm a firm believer in peptides, which obviously they are still under research. So I'm no doctor. I don't advise anybody take them, but take them. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like,
right.
Like personally, I'm on retatrutide, which is still in research. Somatropin, which is HGH, is basically human growth hormone. It induces human growth hormone stimulation in your body. And testosterone and something called AOD. I'm on a slew of them, but like I said, it balanced my hormones out. Right. And once I'm starting to get towards my goal. I'm starting to taper off of that stuff. Like I don't want to continuously take this stuff forever. That's why I didn't want to do the TRT, because the TRT I could have got jacked, man. I could have got really buff, because you're taking steroids. You can control how much testosterone you have in your body.
That's right.
Like you can definitely get jacked, but anyhow, went down a little rabbit hole there.
Hey, no. You just giving me information, man, that I can process and take to my, because my homeboy hit me up and he told me he had a stroke. I just could not believe it.
Yeah.
Bro.
Mm-hmm.
it messed me up. For him to be in his early 40s, or for us to be in our early 40s, and you're getting strokes.
Yeah.
That's serious, man.
Yeah. People having heart attacks, people having the strokes, like folks are getting dementia younger and younger now. You know, other countries call dementia and other Alzheimer's and stuff like that type 3 diabetes. That's what they're calling it.
For real?
Yeah. They say that basically dementia and all these other mental problems occur because you got a barrier between your brain and your blood, and the more insulin resistant you become, the less energy is able to transfer from your blood to your brain, and that's what causes these mental breakdowns. Is the theory. So they're saying that we eat so much sugar that our bodies no longer are able to process the sugar properly. We're not able to get the energy into our brains, which causes these breakdowns. So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, we got just like we was talking off camera, you was telling me how the food is totally different abroad.
Oh yeah,
right.
They don't allow this stuff in food abroad.
So essentially, anything that we're eating in America is just killing us.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's intentional. I honestly do.
Oh, for sure, sure.
I know. I think that a lot of the things that RFK is doing in the food sector is actually going to help us overall. I don't know how bought in he actually is to it. Is he giving us a little bit? Because we're actually, again, we got vast amounts of information in our hands now, so it's not easy to hide things as it used to be.
Right.
Are they easing us into health now?
I mean, are they?
Like that's what I'm getting
at.
That's the question. Like are they easing us into letting us know what actually is healthy and what they've actually been doing? Like, oh, we didn't know it was doing that, and they really were doing it intentionally. Like, who knows, man? I don't want to speculate.
Well, if it's still high fructose corn syrup and stuff, I think it's intentional. You know what I'm saying? Because high fructose corn syrup, that's like the number one killer of most of the stuff that we eat.
100%. The syrups and stuff like that, the concentrated, heavily processed sweeteners and stuff like that is exactly what's causing our problems in our health in the United States. So, and when I was at my leanest, that was one of the things that I did. I had this theory where I will only eat it if God made it, and I like I said, I would eat chicken. Obviously, I would eat these meats. I would eat whole grain rices and stuff like that. But things like processed bread, any type of processed foods, I wouldn't eat it. And it's hard to stay on a diet like that. Like, especially people say it's more expensive to eat clean. It is not more expensive, but it is harder because one, it don't taste as good. So it's hard to stay motivated to eat it.
Bingo.
But two, the processed food is processed. You can just open up the pack and eat it. The non-processed food, you got to cook, you got to prepare, all that stuff. It takes time. And when you're busy, when you're doing stuff like what I got going on, it's really hard to actually get that food cooked and ready to go. So that's kind of part of the problem. And I started meal prepping after reading Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle. And there's programs out there now like Factor where you can pay extra money and actually have the food delivered to you. And Factor actually is really good too. Factor, but it's just kind of expensive, so that's why I got off of that.
But like you said, it's they have fed us this sweeteners and these fats and all of this unhealthy stuff for so long to where we get to eating the healthy stuff, it don't taste as good. Yeah,
right. And I had some British friends that I used to talk to, and they actually said, I told them, I was like, I heard that you guys don't like American food because there's too much salt. And they're like, nah, man, it's the sugar.
Right. See? Exactly.
They're like, stuff ain't supposed to be that sweet, man.
Yeah.
But it's addicting. It actually, the sweeteners release the same hormones in your body, in your brain as doing heroin or cocaine. So
that's horrible.
Yeah. So it's addictive. So they're giving kids these like, They put these cartoonish packaging together with these super sweet things that are addictive and give it to the kids. And I mean, like I said, that's why I say I don't fault my parents, man. Like they were doing the best they could. And in my adulthood, it's on me on what I put in my body. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, I showed you that app that I made. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna release that. I'm gonna let people get that for free, so it'll help you track your diet. It helps you set goals. It gamifies your life.
Right.
So I'm gonna put that out for everybody to have, just so that that they got some type of motivational factor, because motivation is the other piece of it. It's hard to stay motivated. Motivation only lasts so long. At some point, you have to have discipline.
That's it.
So
that's it. And I feel like you got to have more discipline than motivation.
100% you do. That's what I'm saying. Motivation, like I can say, man, I was 350 pounds. I've been down to tie my shoes. I'm out of breath. Like I'm motivated. I need to do better. And now I'm down 114 pounds and I'm not having any of those problems anymore. I'm not walking upstairs getting winded. I feel like I used to feel when I was in my late 20s, early 20s. And, I don't want to lose that. The motivation's gone. At this point, it's discipline. It's about staying locked in. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
and part of that dials back to manifestation. So,
Yes.
Because I see myself in my mind's eye on how I want to be, what I want to look like, what I want to feel like. I'm picturing that, and I'm driving towards it.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing a great job, brother.
Well, thank you, man.
You're doing a great job. Because, man, I did not know you was 350, brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate to say it, but I was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got pretty bad, man. When it's all said and done, man, what do you want people to remember you for?
When it's all said and done, what I want to be remembered for? This dude was super real. Super real. He hold no punches. I just want to be remembered the way my dad was remembered. No punches. He was truly authentic. He had a great heart. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because the accolades and the stuff that you have done, people don't really care about that.
Right.
And when you're gone, they don't care about what you did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless the people that love you, yeah, they care about what you did.
Yeah.
But society don't care. So they just going to say, oh, man, we miss such and such.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about how much of your character was good.
Right.
They don't care about what you've done.
You're right.
Your life.
You're 100% right. People, a lot of memories that I have, and I think this is true for all people. Mm-hmm. You tie memories to emotions.
That's right.
How do people make you feel? What did that person do for you, to you? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, so I try to remain positive for folks as much as possible and help. I didn't always be like this, man. And I think my biggest turning point and aha moment, and where I started to actually see some success in the things that I'm trying to do, is when I decided I don't want to just be wealthy. I don't want to just be healthy. I want to bring people along with me. So right. I started asking myself the question of how can I bring people with me? So when I see folks that are talking about, I want to start a business, I talk about some of the pitfalls that I encountered. Heaston Innovation started as a 3D print company and it failed. I prayed to God that this would be a successful business venture, and I think that He answers prayers. And when I started the AI business, I was like, I'm gonna call it Heaston Innovations because I already got a LLC, I already got the EIN, I've already got all the tax setup stuff. That's right. And the funny thing about it is, it hit me later on as I started calling folks to try to drive up business, and people were actually interested in the service. It's like, man, God is making Heaston Innovations successful. You know what I'm saying?
But does your manifestation have something to do with it too, as well?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it does. It's just something that I didn't think about it at the time. I was like, I forgot. I even forgot that I had prayed for that. I prayed hard, like daily, like, please let this business be successful. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when it fell apart, I was kind of devastated. But still, like, I didn't give up. I moved to the next business idea.
There you go. You didn't give up. That's the key word.
Yeah, I didn't give up. I moved on to the next business idea. The next business idea is what actually spawned this business idea. And it's just been a path of lessons learned and just stringing it all together. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
Congratulations again on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, man. So I try to keep these at about an hour. We're about an hour in. So before I close this out, man, you want to shout out like your social tags and all that? I'll put it down below so you guys can see it.
For sure.
But you want to shout them out real quick?
Yeah. Facebook. You can find me at Burna Gramz. It's easy. Everything is Burna Gramz. But if you go to IG, then it's BURNA_GRAMZ_. 839. And TikTok, same thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But my most used social media is Facebook. That's where y'all can find.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Check them out, guys. Check out SC Aliens. Definitely thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Burna Gramz. I'll have you on again. I'm cutting this off short.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sure we could have talked longer and longer, but we're getting in there a little ways. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Really need your help with the subscriptions. That'll help us a long ways. If you see something you want different, let me know. Leave a comment, message me, DM me, that kind of thing. If you want to be a guest, go to anythingandnothingpodcast.com/b-a-guest. Fill out that form. I'll call you. I'll get you scheduled. I'll have you come to my home, sit across from me, and we'll have a conversation too. Probably talk about aliens and peptides. That seems to be a theme.
Hey, good combo though.
But I enjoyed it. I appreciate you taking the time to come talk to me.
All right, thanks for having me.
So if you want to find more ways to listen outside of YouTube, go to anythingandnothingpodcast.com/listen. We're pretty much everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. I'm getting us on to Rumble next. So more ways to listen. Make sure you, like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. That'd be the best way that you can help us out. It costs you nothing. And if you want to be a guest, let me know. But outside of that, have a good one.